Alright, we're better. I tried to do it in 60 FPS. For some reason, my mind was just broken. We should be fine now. I gotta just make sure everything's all good. Yeah, we're all live. So, all-star selections are live, which means that anyone can vote. I believe you can also vote on every single player that you want to, which is new. Because last season they had a dedicated list that you could go for, and you couldn't pick whoever you wanted. Like you had a certain selection of players you could go for. However, this year I believe it's different. You can go whoever you want. I've really done quarterbacks. I got a little bit overzealous. I saw the announcement went live, and I thought, let me just get into the voting. But the quarterback ones I've already done, so I admit that. Got a little bit too quick with it. However, let me just make myself small. Let me just pop out the chat so I can read it when it comes up. There we go. Get rid of this, and then I can get my screen up and show this off, because we have a lot to go through. If we need to watch tape, we can watch tape. That's what we can do. But I don't think we'll need to. I don't think we'll need, some of them maybe, but I think some others are a little bit more obvious. Because, you know, some selections, like I said, I've already done quarterbacks, and my quarterbacks I picked were Zach Edwards and Riley Hennessy. Because Zach's been on fire all year, and I've got a few of the stats. I'm like was halfway through making one of my videos. At least I was doing the editing for one of my videos. So we have a lot of tabs in the background. But as soon as this went live, I knew I needed to go for it. But if we just look at Riley and Zach and just justify, it's not like I need to justify, but we can explain why we have those two. So Riley, super efficient, 35 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, one of the best teams in the league, has played some solid competition. The knock would be he's not had as many attempts, but like his attempts are not that far off someone like Chad or like someone. Let me zoom in. Like his attempts aren't too dissimilar, more than Ben Holmes, more than Jadrian, more than Nkosi. So he's around those kind of players. He's got very good accuracy in 70% pretty much. So I feel like he's been the most efficient quarterback on one of the best teams. So I've got for him as all-star. And then Zach, improved completion, improved efficiency, 34-7. So he's thrown a lot less interceptions than he usually did in the last couple of seasons. And obviously the big thing is that he's also 6th for rushing yards. He had nearly 1,000 rushing yards as a quarterback with 8 more touchdowns. So he's been phenomenal. So that's my two guys for quarterback voting, which I think is reasonable. I don't think that's a crazy hot take to have. Cannot be everywhere. Also because I don't think you're even eligible. I can't lie. I'm not even 100% sure if you're eligible to be on this. We'll have a little look. But you might not be, because it might be current. It might be current players. So that would be kind of awkward, wouldn't it? Okay. Let's start with running back. I feel like this requires probably the least explaining, because obviously Glenn's going to be there. And I'm not sure if we get 2 votes. I think we might get 2 votes for like first team. Yeah, vote 2. I still think the other one's pretty cut and dry. I think we kind of got to go for David. Because he's second. He didn't score as much as someone like Carey, so you could argue that. You have more attempts. Slightly less on his... Oh, that's actually really close between those two. It's 1,139 versus 1,123. 5 less touchdowns. Let me have a quick look at their receiving value, because both of these guys are fantastic. Let's have a quick peek, because I feel like it would be an injustice for one of these to not be. You know, we got to make that discussion between those two. So, receiving wise, David is not a receiving back. 81 yards. It's not very much, but Carey wasn't really much of a receiving back either. I guess it depends on what you value. Do you value scoring? Do you value yards? Do you value team success with this kind of thing? I went back way too far. That's the problem with having a little bit. That's why I had to go 30 frames per second. If I try and go 60 FPS, it's going to break my fucking laptop. I am kind of torn, actually. I didn't think I'd be as torn with this one. Let's have a look at Kerry in terms of his receiving. They're kind of really close. Oh, man. I don't really want to leave David out. Obviously, I can't not pick Glenn. Like, that would just be silly. So it really is just between those two. I'll kind of have a coin flip. More yards for David. More receiving yards for Kerry. More touchdowns for Kerry. More less attempts, but only a third amount to go for Kerry. And that does hurt. But he's had a little bit more. He's had, like, if you give him another 20 attempts, I think he goes over that. He's already got 30 more times. I'm going to go for Kerry. I'm going to go for Kerry. It's fucking close. Like, if I could vote for 3, I'd love to. But we can't. So we can't. Pretty simple. Right. Running backs are in. Fullback, it's kind of got to be Posh. Right? You got to vote 2. So Posh and Leon Helms. Like, fullbacks are people too, and I will give more of an insight into these guys. But these two are pretty unanimously the only, like, full-time fullbacks. And Patrick Posh and Leon Helm have been all-stars for, like, multiple years. So I'm going to go for them as well. Receiver, how many do I get picked? 6. Okay. I mean, Jackson has got to be in there. I think that's pretty well established. Man, this is really hard. 'Cause I can't really just go for, like, the top 6. That's not really what it's about. But honestly, it might even just be that simple. Markel, I think it's pretty obvious that he's an all-star level player. So I'm going to put Markel in there as well. Reese Horn was leading for a long time of the year. 72% catch completion, 13 scores. Number 1 receiver on the number 1 team. So we're going to go for Horn as well. I think that's, again, pretty obvious. But Austin had bursts. Right? Austin kind of had, like, a few games in a row where he'd be really, really impactful. And then other games where he would not be really impactful. Like, we look at the big ones. Yeah, like 152 yards. Make myself a little bit smaller. 152 yards, 70 yards, 6 yards, 70, 74, 4, 43. And then last 4 of the last 3 games he goes off. There's also against Frankfurt, against Cologne, against Berlin. So they were important games. Kind of a tough one though, isn't it? Because I feel like you've got to have a little bit more consistency. Because he fucking burst onto the scene with that 4 touchdowns, 152 in the first game, which was outstanding. But then he kind of quietened down a little bit. So I'm not sure if I would go for an all-star on him. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to... It's tough. But I don't think I can justify it. Spiller, I think, has to be there. Got 1,000 yards. And was fantastic all year. It feels harsh leaving Austin out, but again, you just need to have that consistency. For me, anyway. Helvetic. And then we could go for Robitaille, but I think he had a similar kind of thing. Oh, I completely forgot to put this in the Discord chat. Wanted to pop up on Discord. I completely forgot to actually put this in the Discord chat. Let me actually let people know really quickly. You're live for All-Star voting. There we go. Right, Robitaille. Was he as consistent? Again, he had less dips. 29 yards, 27 yards, 47 yards, 19 yards. Because Austin Mitchell literally had like 4 yards in one game. Like a couple times. I got 2 votes left, so I have to use them quite wisely. Mitchell is not out of the question. It's just going to be hard to narrow this down to 6. That's really what I'm thinking. Because Carlos Hill could even go for it, honestly. Willie P could go for it as well. Even Geyer has a pretty decent shout because Geyer scored so much. I think that's something we got to mention, is the scoring. And Austin Mitchell did lead in scoring. You know what? Because he led in scoring, I'll go for Austin Mitchell. That's a big one, you know. Ultimately, scoring wins you games. Geyer, potentially. Horn's already on there. Jackson's already on there. Who got the most yak yardage? Who did the most? Yannick Meyer. So that's another good pick, but Meyer and Geyer, both of them probably deserve a little bit of a mention. Thomas was actually crazy high. So he missed half the year. We'll get to him in a minute. He got like the best hands. Yeah, it's all these are kind of just 1 and 2 catches. Because Willie P didn't score very much. So for me, that's what's keeping Willie passing out. Because 5 scores is not crazy. I know he did a lot in the run game as well, but Geyer, I think I'm going to put Geyer on because of that scoring. 13 touchdowns. He did have games where he kind of went in and out. If we look at that really quickly. Like 0, 19, 25. But he was just consistent. A touchdown, 3, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 2, 1. I'm still going to put Geyer in there. I think he was probably the best receiver, European receiver other than Spiller. So Spiller's probably the best, you know, Spiller was a European best receiver. So I got, is that 6? That's 6. So my all-star receivers would be Geyer, Spiller, Jackson, Mitchell, Castle, and Horn. So who am I missing there? I'm missing Robitaille and I'm missing Willie P. But Willie P didn't score very much and Robitaille had some inconsistency because he was on a bad team, and that's kind of part of it, sadly. There was a lot of receivers that didn't play an awful lot. Because Carlos Hill didn't finish this. Carlos Hill wasn't on the full season. I need to get a chat up on my phone. It's not working at the moment. There we go. Yeah, receiver composition does matter. You are right. You are right. But in terms of competition, Berlin played a lot. Galaxy played a lot. Vienna played not as many. But Horn did have great stats. Like, Horn did have over 1,000 yards. Horn did have 13 touchdowns. He may have not had the best competition, but I don't feel like you can leave Reese out of the All-Star conversation. Austin played good teams. And they turned up really at the start of the first game of the year. He turned up, and then the last game of the year he turned up. I'm going to move that down a little bit as well. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. I'm leaving off people like Torre, Meyer, Kaya, take it down, Flores Calderon, Malik. He would have been in there if he played a full season. Again, a lot of these guys would have been in there if they played a full season. Malik, Kelvin, AFB, Carlos, all probably would have been around this if they played a full season. But I'm still submit. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. So far. Well, look, that's a pretty fucking loaded team. I got a couple from the big ones, which is expected. Couple really big teams. All right, let's knock out tight end. For me, this one's quite a hard one because tight ends didn't really have massive years this year. Like if you look at the receiving, there's not one tight end until Botena Moreno, who, by his standards, had a quieter year. He's probably still an all-star. But he had a quieter year. Actually, no, he didn't. I always thought he had more receiving yards than that in Vienna. Damn. Okay. My bad, Andrea. My bad. He was extremely consistent too. And in the red zone, especially on those 2-point conversions, was really, really good. So, but Moreno's in there, I think. How many do I get? 2? Yeah. I'm thinking, off the top of my mind, Sherman is who I'm thinking of. Because I remember him getting quite a lot of big plays. The Berlin Thunder tight end. Nicholas Sherman. Or Schumann, rather. Nikolai Schumann. Around his general area. He's also a really good blocker. And obviously that kind of goes onto the radar when it comes to tight ends. But I remember making quite a few big plays. And tight ends, like I said, this year, there wasn't any, like... Obviously, apart from Andrea, there wasn't any that really stood out. Actually, then again, Raul Senerda had a really good year. And he had more yards. Might have to be Raul. He was good. He was really, you know what? I might have to go for Raul. He had a great year. He really did. I dare say, instrumental to that team. Obviously, it's not all about yards, but he is a good receiver of the ball. I think apart from that, there's no one else that really stands out. So I think it's got to be those guys. Just off of this sheet, Florian didn't play the full year. John Every Cruz didn't play the full year. Nikolai's there, like Nikolai's definitely around it. Robin around that as well. Steven, great blocker. But I think I'm going to have to go for Raul. I'm good with that. You got the first Bravo? Here's the first Bravo player we got now. Alright, OGs. This one's going to be really hard. There's a lot of really good players in this one. Alessandro is my immediate thought. I get 4, so I do get quite a few. I feel like Alessandro's got to be in there. Let me just scroll through a few of these. Lars Liebig is really good. Nick Wiens is really good. Robin Finch is really good. Polly's really good. They've got Polly as a guard, but yeah, that's all of them. So unless we can, is that all of them? Yeah, we'll treat that as all of them. So Dominic Antler is really good. This one's actually incredibly tough. I'm going to go for Nick Wiens. Cannot disregard that interior for Ryan. This is for guards. Offensive guards. Cannot disregard those two. And is this all of them that I get a vote for? Or can I just search up anyone? Ben Hur is underrated, low-key. I think we go for Dominic. Because that run game goes through Dominic onto that, goes through Marlon Worthman, and goes through those big guys up front. They've got some maulers up there. Pepler as well. I think that might be my guys. There you go. Van Leander's really fucking good. Robin's really good, and Polly's really good. There's a lot of really good players here. I kind of feel bad for leaving some of these off. Right, these guys are fucking... It's not your fault you're getting bullied by them. That's just the way they are. But I think you look at those teams, all of them have fantastic runs. I think that's obviously going to start with them. I think I'm happy with that. I'm going to submit that. Serious good players. Right, let's go to offensive tackle. And again, this one's a really uncomfortable vote because there are so many of them. Adechi's really good. Holland Hock's really good. Garrett Brandt's really good. Harry Sayer's really good. Like Keanu, I'm gonna go for Keanu because Keanu is a fucking baller. Sure. Where is Nielsen? Right, so Keanu and Nielsen for me are locks because both of them are fucking awesome. Toby Letman as well is definitely there. There's a lot of really fucking awesome players in this one. Man, this league is so good. I love this league so much. Again, difficult. Arnold Hollenhock, I think, is probably there for me. Jasper didn't play the full season, but he's definitely going to be a player in the league for a few years. Not for me. He's been way too inconsistent. I don't think he's an all-star. I wouldn't say so. Lucas Hollop. I'm going to go for Lucas Hollop because he's fantastic and he needs more recognition. Where's Alexander? Is he not in this? Can I search for him? Yeah, right. We're going to go for Alexander Milanovic as well. 2 Vikings offensive line. Our offensive line is phenomenal, by the way. Steven Nielsen was the bright spark in the Galaxy one. Keanu was the bright spark on the Warschau one. But only get 4? Fuck. Because I really want to go for Hollenhock and I really want to go for Garrett. I really want to go for like 20 players. Luka Jokel's a phenomenal player as well. Oh, this sucks. Marlon's a play everywhere guy. Yes, Sir Raji's a fucking... Gasparo's a centre. I don't know why they got him as a tackle. Toby Letman as well. Really, really talented player, but... this one is tough. I think I'm gonna have to go with that because that Vienna offensive line does massively get slapped on, and Lucas is a really important part of it. So is Alexander. I'm gonna go for that. I just need to do it. Otherwise, I'll be here all day thinking about it. We got anyone new tuning in. This is who we got so far at the positions we went for. I didn't stream callback because I forgot, and then I jumped on stream immediately. But so far, I'm happy with what we have. We've got a nice mix of the playoff teams, which is what you would expect. We got the Lions. The only thing I feel bad about is that we don't have any Raiders offensive linemen. And that's why I want people like Adachi in, because Adachi is absolutely the weapon on that line. Unless we can vote Middendorfer. I think he might be one of them. I have to vote 2 centres. Ngami's a good shout. Okay. I'm going to go for Middendorfer because watch tape, definitely one of the main reasons they have such a good run game. And then I'm probably going to go for Matthew Daltrey. This one for me is a little bit easier. There's a lot of other really good players, like Ngami is excellent. Lewis Thomas. Oh, but then again, Lewis Thomas. How am I leaving him off of All-Star selection? But he's not a centre. But like... yeah, man. I mean, we'll have a look. I want you back in the league, for sure. I'm gonna go for those two. For me, those those two run games are the best. They need to have some Raiders representation. You'll be back in the league, Cat, at some point for sure. I have no doubt about that. If teams aren't reaching out to you at this point, then they seriously need to be. Right, moving on to defense. We'll do special teams first as well. Punter. Who has the best punting? Who's got the best average? I mean, it's kind of got to be. Is it a little bit? I'm gonna give it to the Raiders too, punter, leader, because he actually did do some really good punts. Oh shit! I get a vote too. Fuck. I vote 2 punters. I only voted 1. Fuck. Well, I've only voted 1 punter, which I feel bad about, but they got it anyway. Kicker, it has to be Lenny Craig and it has to be Robert Werner. Both of those guys have been the best kickers by a mile. It's not even close. I need to give those too much of a thought. Defensive tackle. I am going to go for my guy in... Where is he at? William Lytle. I'm going for William Lytle. He's been far and away one of the best. But there are a ton of really good players here too. So how many we get? We got 4. Okay, well that's actually a good amount. Let's go to the stats, see if we can jog some memory. We need tackles for loss. Karkic is an end. Pierre is an end. Zach Blair's the linebacker. Jakob. He's in there. Now there's a lot of really good players on that. I'm going to go for Jakob. There's a lot of really good players on Ryan Fire's defense. I don't know. There's some in the offensive line that we're a little bit off too. Like Dusan is an edge. But okay. The tough thing with Ryan is because they rotate a lot. They got a lot of defensive linemen rotating. Okay, Pierre's actually listed as a D tackle, so I'm going to vote for Pierre. I think he deserves a shout. Low key though, Edwin Elo also deserves a mention. So does Mamadou Sai. And then Luau, he's going to be like a fucking baller if they keep him. Hopefully they do. Who had the best run defense of the team? I should probably start looking at some of them too. Yeah, the corners will come. We're working our way up. I want to see who had like the best run defense. The Panthers had the best run defense? Interesting. I mean, we do need to give, because Dusan, I know, came a little bit more inside this year, but he is a... And Thomas Schaefer deserves a shout too. How many did Schaefer play? Schaefer didn't play the whole year though, did he? Let me get... I don't think Schaefer played the whole season. That would be my only thing. Defensive back is going to be... I need to think how much you spell. Or I can just go into that roster and that would be easier, wouldn't it? Because I don't have a German keyboard. So I just have to like go as far as I can without putting the accents on. Okay. Who had the most tackles for loss on this one's a Talitsa, but he's a linebacker. Yeah, Tom Shaver only played 9 games, didn't play a ton. What about Dusan though? So who played interior for... Because a lot of the defense and not for the Panthers is going to be through AJ. So I'd be very surprised if he isn't basically atop of all of these stats. Yeah, he's a linebacker. Dusan played 9. I think as many sacks I thought we would have. We do have 4. We got one more. Just to add these guys. It's a tough one. It really is. But I think Evans could be a really good shout. But he hadn't played a ton. Yeah, he got hurt. Hugo is a baller. Jason's a baller. Did they play the whole year? I need to quickly have a detour to Ryan. Because again, they play heavily rotating on that defensive line. They've got so many good players that they can just rotate and keep fresh. So here's a quick look at that. Oh, Hugo did have a Hugo good year. I might actually vote Hugo, you know, because Aaron's going to be an end. Venky's a linebacker that I'll probably also vote for. Might go for Hugo. Also had 4 sacks, which is big. You know what? Fuck it. We're going Hugo. We're going Hugo. Defensive end and rush. 4th here too. Some of these are going to be pretty obvious. Carl Kitchens, obviously. Where is he going to be on this first page? Right, well, we need to find Doncor. Wait, what? Don't tell me Doncor's in the D tackles. Shit. Doncor must be listed as a D tackle. That's insane. I don't like that. Malumba, yeah. Definitely. Even though Krista is more of an interior guy, Marvin had some big games. Let me look at Marvin real quick. Marvin had some really big games. Because he was like nominated for the awards a couple of times. Where am I looking? Vikings. And they had a really good rush defense. But again, they didn't play the best teams. But Wapple. He had some really nice. Yeah, there you go. 5.5 sacks as well. 10.5 tackles for loss. 11 games played. I'm out to go for him, you know. I think he has a really good shout. I might do it. I might do it. Maybe just have a quick look at the sack numbers. Because Donko... Oh, Regan. We need to get Regan in there. There we go. Right. Got Regan. Got Kyle. Got Malumba. Cannot get Doncor for some reason. Doncor is not on here. He must be on the interior, which I'm really kind of sad about. I'm going to put Zurich Ball in there. Especially in the playoffs, he was really big. Stanley Zurich base, really insane. James Brooks, again, awesome. But I'm going to have to go for those guys as my 4. I don't think that's controversial. That should be pretty cut and dry. You know what? We'll do cornerbacks just for you, Kat. We'll do cornerbacks just for you. We'll skip a bunch. Now, who do we want? Fettig, I think, has to be paid. How many do we get? 4. So Fettig played more safety, but he's listed here, and I don't want to risk not voting for him. Tony Anderson, Shanna Jones, but he didn't play the full year, so I'm kind of restrained from him. Marcel, I think you got to go for Fettig and Wilson. I kind of feel like you have to. I'm thinking Marlo Shawn as well. Because both of those guys, outstanding. Bench straight. But then, you know, I do... Obviously, Marlo Shawn didn't turn a ball over a ton, but he was a seriously good player, but... Glenn's a safety, but Ben Straight's going to be here, right? And let's see, he might be... Let me just make sure that he's not. Bijan again could be in this. I just need to make sure that Ben isn't here. Okay, so Ben Straight's at safety, so that's fine. Glenn is going to be at safety, but again, I'll double check. Because he stepped up so much this year for me. Who would you say are your all-stars? Spin's going to be a safety. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. It's a good point. Yep. Fair. So you got Devin, Mitch, Raheem. It's obviously not all about picks. It's not all about picks, but it certainly fucking helps. It certainly helps. Rodion honestly has a shout of being in this. For me, Jalen and Bijan didn't play enough games. I would like, 10 or so games. Personally, I can allow a couple. So it's exactly similar to Chandler Jones. There's a couple guys that just go under the radar. Maseo. Raheem Wilson, starting corner for Surge. I mean, he's leader in interceptions, and he got a couple picks. He got one pick six, yeah. He got the most pick sixes, just ones. He'll be at safety, so he'll get my vote. Now this is tough. Who was like the fucking lockdown corner this year? That's a really tough one. Generally, though, I'm thinking about putting Rodion on there because he got a couple of pick sixes. He got one against Vienna. He also got one against. Did he get one in the last game of the year? Competition matters, 100%. 100%. And Dion played some good teams. And he often played the American receiver. Like, Rodion would play the American receiver everywhere. Now this one's tough. I might go for Dion, Most interception yardage. I love Nisander, for sure. I want to say he's an all-star this year, but he's incredible. He's going to be an all-star at one point. You know what? I might just go Dion. A fumble, a blocked kick, fumble recovery, a forced fumble, 6 breakups, the most interception yardage, a couple of pick sixes. I'm pretty sure he had more than one. 4 picks on the year. Came back for against some really fucking good receivers. Basically played all of the top guys. Played Vienna, played Berlin, played Voshhav, who do have a former NFL receiver, by the way. Played Cologne. Got interceptions on Ben Holmes and on MS. Who's MS? MS? I'm tripping. Can't remember. I think I might... Yeah, everyone does play mostly off zone. But Dion's a baller, man. Like, Dion's really good. And he played all year. And he was on Americans every time because they don't have an American DB. Like Dion played every single American receiver. Like he couldn't move off of them. Is it controversial to go for Dion because he plays for the Enthroners? Maybe. I know picks on everything. Before people say I know picks on everything, but they fucking help. If you don't think picks are a factor, you're tripping. I'm gonna go Dion. So you got Taylor, Fettig, Dion. Because I think he has a very, very strong case for being the best European corner this year. Fuck it. We're doing it. It's the first and probably... Actually, it's not the first. We actually have 2 Enthroners All-Stars. More All-Stars than a couple other teams probably. Right, linebacker. This one's going to be tough too, but AJ's obviously going to be there. We got 6. AJ, obviously. Dawson... Obviously, didn't put that one right. There we go. Dawson, obviously. Falk, obviously. That's just 3 we can knock out of the park really, really quickly. Don't need to worry too much about them. They're all obviously all-star guys. Who else is in there? Hugo had a good year. Hugo got an interception. He got a sack. He was kind of everywhere. I think Hugo is a good shout. I think I'm going to put Hugo in. I got 6 votes, so I can do it. It's a nice array of linebackers. Now, the last one's kind of tough because Zach Blair played 10 games and he was excellent when he was on. Oh, Doncourt's a linebacker. Right. Say no more. Say no more. Yep. I'm glad we actually got Doncourt as an all-star vote. I was kind of sad that we couldn't have him on. Right, say no more. Obviously, AJ's in. We got last one from Zimon. Excellent. Because they got some of the guys who are more Yannick Venke. I might have to go for Yannick. Let me just vote for Yannick here, but let me just Yannick was so good all year. Talitz is a good shout. There's so many good players. There's so many good players. If you look at sacks though, he's top 5 for sacks. He got multiple tackles for a loss. He got 12. He started in 8, but he appeared in all 12. I think I gotta go for Yannick. And they're the number 1 defense this year, so I don't even think that's even a hot take that you have 2 linebackers from there. John Folk, AJ, Dawson, Hugo. I think that's a very reasonable collection of players. There's a lot of players I would love to put on as well, like Simeon, Sasan, those guys that I've mentioned. Zach, obviously, Nazari, Diga, they all deserve shouts, but I think I gotta go for those 6. Tough, but I think fair. Alright, safeties and returner. We'll do returner first. It's Aaron Jackson and Devin Burrow. It just is. It just is. I'm going to just quickly make sure that no one got those, but I'm pretty positive I can't remember anyone else getting anyone near those numbers. Oh, Bijan did though. But he only took a couple, didn't take as many. Whereas Burrell took more, had better averages across the board as a punt returner. And then Devin Burrell, there we go. So Burrell still got 4 touchdowns this year on special teams. And Jackson got 3. Chad, honourable mention. Yannick, honourable mention. But hard to really put anyone other than those 2 guys on this list as returners. Alright, last one, safeties. I get 4 votes. I'm going to vote Ben. Played well all year. Played really well all year. I might even do a video about Ben. I think Alexander deserves a shout. A ton of tackles. He got a sack. Got TFLs, got 3 interceptions, got breakups, got block kick, got forced fumbles, fumble recovery, and a fumble touchdown. And fuck it, I'm going to go with Alexander Bulkovic. Hell yeah. And I got 2 more. For some reason, Timothy Sherman there is voted as a safety. He's not a safety. Glenna, yep. Don't need to explain that one much. Marshall, I'm very tempted. Because he was very impactful when he came. Nazir as well. I forgot how good Nazir was, but also Nazir is very much a box guy. I didn't get any picks. But he was excellent. Don't get me wrong. Even someone like Spillum deserves a shout. This is tough again. Let's go picks. See who's around the top. See who we haven't voted for. I voted for Wetzelberger, but he played a lot of, he got a couple picks at the end of games. Jalen didn't play enough for me. Chad, honestly, could be in that one, but Spillum, I think, was better this year. I think Spillum might be the good. Like, Spillum had another good year. Yeah, East is tough, but Spillum's a great athlete. Spillum played tough competition, played Wrocław, played Vienna, played Rhine, played Paris. Picked off a number of them, and is overall one of the more athletic safeties in the league. Dude played at Coastal. He's fucking, he can dunk, he's at everything, and dude's fucking crazy athletic. I think I'm leaning towards Spillum. It's tough. Again, it's really, really tough. If I could vote more than 4, I would, but I can't, so. We're going to make some cuts. Even people like Mari, he didn't turn the ball over as much this year because people just kind of stopped looking at him. I think I'm going to go for Alex. Yeah, I'm going to go with it. So here we go. Our final All-Star section. We'll do a quick run through. This was just a short stream. This one wasn't going to go crazy. Callbacks. I've gone for Zach Edwards and Riley Hennessy. Running backs. Glenn Tonga, Kerry Jerinin. Or Parvarine. I never know how you properly say the Finnish names. We've gone for Kerry and Glenn. Reasonable. Fullbacks, Patrick and Leon. Both very fine blockers. Poach can do a lot out of backfield, actually, surprisingly. He was a really important part of that fire offense. Receivers. Aaron Jackson, Markel Castle, Reese Hall, Milan Spiller, Austin Mitchell, and Lewis Geyer. I think also very fair. A lot of league leaders. Spin to get pick 6. Spin's a fucking savage. Oh, bit of drift from the thing. There we go. Yeah, pick 6 to pick 6. Tight end. Botello Moreno and Raul Sinerda. Both very important players within that team. Raul definitely had a bit of a breakout year this year. Offensive guard. Alessandro Vigani, Nick Veens, Dominic Hunter, and Jonathan Pepler. All of which partially responsible for dominant. I know, we went for receiver value, both and Kerry scored more touchdowns. Trust me, Keanu. Trust me. I really wish I had more than 2 votes, but I only had 2 votes, and Kerry had a little bit more receiver value and about 5 more scores. Yeah, Fettig, I don't know why he's Fettig's at corner, but at least we got him voted in. Offensive tackle, currently in the chat, Keanu, Steven Nilsson, Lucas Holub, Alexander Molanovic. Again, all of which, phenomenal. Spiller got 1,000 yards. And some really good teams. I think leaving Spiller out of All-Star conversation, I don't think you really can. I know we didn't score a ton, but the dude was balling this year for sure. Center, Daltrey, Mittendorfer. Finally I feel bad about not having as many Raiders players in this game. Because, brother, honestly, look at some of the tape, man. He's an all-star receiver. He's fucking burning guys. He was burning American guys, often. Trust me. He's really fucking good. I think some people underestimate how good Milan Spiller is. He's a really, really good talent. Defensive tackle, Lydell, Jakob, Pierre, who is more outside, but had a lot of tackles for loss. Low-key, really, really good year. Hugo. I'm happy with that as well. Jakob, such an underrated player. Does so well in the middle of that defense. And against Prague, kind of tough to show out. Defensive end, Kyle, obviously. Yamara, DJ, and Lewis. But, Spiller was getting fucking covered constantly. And Spiller had no time to work because the offensive line's fucking garbage. So he could only really run short routes. Meyer and Geyer have great offenses that build around them. Spiller also did it with, the troubles that are going on in Heltevik. Kind of tough to leave, man, in my opinion. But Kitchens, Chris, Jabari, Ioannis. My defensive end / edges. Linebackers, AJ, Dawson, Jonathan Falk, Hugo, Aaron Doncourt, and Yannick Venke. Aaron's more of a defensive end, but you can't really take many of these guys off. Again, linebackers are really stacked. Cornerback, Fettig, Wilson, Taylor, Rodion. Yeah. No, I get it. I understand. I see you. It's not an invalid opinion. Definitely not. Meyer is phenomenal. It's just, Spiller got 1,000 yards, man. I know it's not as simple as that, but like he was so good to get 1,000 yards. And people clocked on, like people knew us what he was going to do. He still did it, and it worked. You kind of knew. Marshall and Amari is kind of tough. Amari didn't have like his best of years, but was still phenomenal. And Marshall didn't play a ton of the start of the year. And Marshall's fucking awesome. Marshall only played 7 games. And for me, I feel like got to play at least like 9 or 10. It's my opinion. You know, some people might disagree and vote for him. Sure, go ahead, vote for him. I think he's an outstanding receiver. If he's an all-star, I'm certainly not going to be mad at it. I just think that you need to play a few more than 7 games. But again, like, if he makes all-star, I'm absolutely not going to be up in arms. I think he's an awesome player. Just he came in late. And then Amari. People just kind of avoided Amari this year. He wasn't able to put as much work in. And he got two interceptions, which was a career low for him, but he's still like excellent. But then like Ben Straight had multiple interceptions and touchdowns. Alexander had literally everything you could do on a football field. Galeno was really good at just picking the ball off, and is also a really good tackler. And then Spillum, a lot of interceptions. Spillum and I think Marlashorn could, Spillum and I think Amari could kind of go back and forth with. Again, you vote for either one of them. Like, they're both really fucking good. Returner, obviously, both of them. Kicker, again, not really much question. And then leader as a punter, because I forgot to vote for 2 punters. But, yeah. Yeah, the Vikings, nah, man. He had to work for it, there. And our Vikings defense is, there's some seriously good players in our Vikings defense. Especially at corner. Like they had, who they have at corner this year? They had Weapon X, they had Nichols who plays safety. They had Morales. And they had, who was the other one they had? Ken Hike. So they had a ton of fucking good players. Yeah, Taylor's a great selection because he's just so good. The corners really go under the radar. The Raiders defense. I prefer Raiders defense to a lot of other teams. There's a ton of really good players. We had a lot of injuries this year, but kind of allowed for more players to come in and make an impact. Yeah. You can. It's literally on the ELF website. It was a votes overview. Oh, this is the votes overview. I was going to say. Yeah, it's a public vote. Just go on the ELF website. I'll link it. It's literally just, there you go. I'll link it when I get a chance, but I watched every single game. I know they had the first one where you got like 200. It was like they brought in both those DBs pretty late. So he was able to like export the cover. Oh, who's that? Who's that dude, right? Who's that dude? But he still did it. I mean, you honestly could probably vote for yourself if you wanted to. It would be maybe, you know, I'm not saying it would be an invalid vote, but You didn't play the whole year. No offense. Are you gonna play for the Warriors this year? Because they got the final, just the final. I'll probably try and stream that. It's the same. Oh wait, actually I might not be able to. We'll find out because the NFL I think starts the same week as the I also want to stream some college football. So let me know if not like me with the fucking whole thing on, but like watch songs of college football. I think could be pretty fun. But I'm probably doing for like some big games because they're gonna be on at like 3 in the morning. So, if you're interested in college football, I'll probably start doing that. Because I wanted to look at some players. Because you never know. We could even see some of these guys come into our league. And I could scout those players while I'm watching that. So that could be pretty fun. But I think that rounds out. This was meant to be a quick, short, just easy stream. It wasn't meant to be big. I wanted to get... I just wanted to touch base because we got the games tomorrow as well. Oh my god, I'm so excited for the games tomorrow. Like, I'm so excited. Look, we got a little counter. Hold on. Look at that. 20 hours left until the big game. But until then, I'm going to say goodbye now and carry on making this video. I've got a video coming up soon of players who I think are going to transfer. Like, I've got some, like... potential transfers that people can listen to, so that could be pretty fun. Let me know if you guys want to, let me know if you have some recommendations. I've got 5 players already that I'm going to do it on. It's going to be a long ass fucking video, I'll tell you that. It's going to be about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So I'm going to try and get as much of that done today, stream on Saturday, Sunday, you'll have live on Monday, and then I'm going to try and, get through the editing through Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or whatever. So we'll see what happens, but hopefully I'll be able to get that done soon. Let me show you the thumbnail. I just want to show you the thumbnail. A bit of a leak for the people that have stayed this late. It's a gorgeous thumbnail. Obviously you'll be able to tell from one of the players who's on it. But then I'll leave. Let's have a look. And you'll be able to tell one of the guys that I'm going to talk about potentially being an interesting player. But here you go. Look at that. Beautiful thumbnail. It's beautiful. It's a fucking work of art. Yeah, anyway. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Ta-ra, stay safe, stay sharp. See you later.